Okay, so I should be live right now. I had some problems a minute ago where my software didn't connect to YouTube. Um, so okay, bear with me. Let me just double check my audio is okay. Okay, so you can hear me. Perfect. I was really nervous to do a live for exactly this reason. When you edit a video, you can cut out mistakes that you make, any background noises, but in a live video, you really don't have control. So join me today in this English lesson. Um, and let's hope there's no chaos. Let's hope there's no mistakes. So I've wanted to do live lessons for a while now. Because I think YouTube is a fantastic place to teach yourself something new. All the information is free, all the content is free, and you can improve your life, your situation, your work with content other people create on YouTube. So if you do like my content and you think it's beneficial, it helps you, please be sure to share this live stream, share it to your I've just got some messages and I'm just reading them. Share it to your social media, share it with a friend. But today, what we're going to do, so hi everyone, thank you. I'll try not to be nervous. I'm sure I will get into the swing of things as we move through. I'm sorry that I didn't give you prior notification or post that I was going to do a live stream. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. So if this goes well, I will be doing this regularly, once or twice a month. But that's enough of me talking. Let's get straight into our lesson today. So I'm going to share, hopefully, fingers crossed. Yes, perfect. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen here. So our first word today is relevant. Now, if you know this word, it's too easy for you. Don't worry. What I'm going to do is ask you to create examples and I will give you corrections if you need. So if this is too easy, bear with me. It will get more difficult. And if this is already quite difficult, don't worry. I will help you out. Okay, let's just make this full screen. Okay, so our first word, as I said, relevant as an adjective. This is when something is important to, it's a priority, it's related to what you are talking about. So I'm going to give you my first example, and then I want you to give me some examples in the comments of this word relevant. So my first example is going to be, is this lesson oops, we're typing in the wrong place. Is this lesson relevant to my English learning journey? So is it related to? Is it important? Is it a priority? So let's see some of your examples now. If you want to put an example in the comments. If anyone wants to give me an example. Hello, hi teacher. Tidarad says, hello teacher. So what can you think of? What might be relevant or something irrelevant? Hello from Sri Lanka. I watch your videos to improve my English knowledge. I love them. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. So if nobody's got any examples for relevant, we could move on to relevance. Relevance. So relevance is the noun. Let me give you one more example for relevant, actually. One more example. So what's something that could be used on a daily basis? I am reading a fantastic book at the moment. It is relevant to my area of work. You might say this to a colleague. You know, what are you reading at the moment? Do you recommend anything? Or maybe you have a friend who wants a suggestion on something they could read. So you might say, I think you should read, and then the name of the book, whatever it is you think your friend should read. It might be relevant to, and whatever it is, it might be relevant to how you are feeling. It might be relevant to your work. It might be relevant to your situation. Hi teacher, good morning. I'm watching from Australia, but I'm Tibetan. Wow, Tibetan, fantastic. That's amazing. So is this topic relevant for our syllabus? Perfect, exactly, perfect example. So let's move on to relevance as a noun. So we just changed the sentence a little. We might say, what is the relevance of this topic? Or what is the relevance of learning English? And your answer might be something like, the relevance is. The relevance is. Why are you learning English? What is the relevance? Well, the relevance is I'm hoping to get a new job, a promotion, move to another country. So the relevance is an upgrade in my life, becoming more professional, moving somewhere else. So let's move on to my next section, which is the negative, irrelevant or irrelevance. So I'm going to quickly do this one because I think you can understand it's just the opposite. So this lesson is irrelevant. Somebody that doesn't like me or my channel might say this lesson is irrelevant. Or perhaps you're in a meeting at work and lots of people are talking at the same time about something that is not the main topic. It is not the priority. You could say, this is becoming irrelevant. Can we focus on the topic? Or can we focus on sales? Can we focus on, and yes, it's correct. I need a full stop or a comma here. I'm going to go with a comma. Can we focus on the topic? This is becoming irrelevant. This is no longer important or a priority. So same with irrelevance. But it's not often used, irrelevance. We would be more likely to say, I don't see the relevance, or I'm not sure what the relevance of this is. Irrelevance is used not often at all. So I'm going to put that in red. So not often at all, but you might see it. You might have a situation where you come across this word. Don't say any irrelevant ideas for the discussion. Nice, nice. I'm just going to change your example a little. So don't say any irrelevant ideas for the discussion. What I would say instead is, so you have said don't say any irrelevant ideas for the discussion. But I would change this a little because it doesn't flow. It doesn't sound quite so natural. So I would say, don't bring up any irrelevant ideas. And I would say in the discussion. Or you could say, these ideas are irrelevant for the discussion. So just to make it a bit, easy to listen to, I would say don't bring up or don't talk about. You could say don't talk about any irrelevant ideas in the discussion. But nice, really good example. So then we will move on to our next word, which as you can see is adamant. Adamant. And we really only use this as an adjective. The noun of adamant, as you can see here, is archaic and not used. So if you look it up in a dictionary, you will see the word adamant as a noun, but it is not used. So as an adjective, what we mean is we are sure. We are sure. We might not be right. Our idea might not be right, but we are 100% certain about it. So I might say, I am adamant it will rain today. I am 100% sure it will rain today. Of course, I don't know that because I'm not the sky. So I am adamant. It doesn't mean you are right. I'll put this up here. Not always right. And just in case anyone wants it, if you would like to see the document that I'm working on today, if you want access to this Google Doc, there will be a link in the description box where you can give me your email address and I will send you the link to this document. So if you don't have time to watch the whole video, or you just you want the notes as well, you want to relook over it later, be sure to message me and I will send you this document. It definitely looks like it's going to rain actually outside. So let's try a more advanced example of adamant. If you do not take this job, I am adamant it will affect your career prospects. So I am certain it will affect your career prospects. Again, it doesn't mean I'm right. It's just that I feel, in my opinion, I am certain. Does anyone have any examples with the word adamant? If you do, yes, okay, Daya, I am adamant you can get overall 8 points for your IELTS exam. Perfect, really nice example. No feedback on that one, it's perfectly written. Our next word is entails. Entails. Now, I'm saying it quite long and drawn out. In a sentence, you'd be more likely to shorten the word, as you will see in a minute. But this is a verb that is like another way of saying something covers, something incorporates, or something involves. So instead of saying this lesson involves vocabulary, I might say this lesson entails a huge list of vocabulary. It doesn't. I've only got 6 words for you today, so don't worry. It's not going to be a 3-hour-long lesson. But it's just a way of making the sentence sound more advanced, giving you another way to say this means, this involves, this covers. So let's say you're at work and you present something to your boss, and your boss says, what? No, let's start again. Your boss says, this sounds good. I like this plan. What will it entail? And I have spelt like incorrectly. AI wouldn't do that, would it? So, this sounds good. I like this plan, but what will it entail? So what will it actually involve? I like the overall idea, but what does it actually cover? What does it actually involve? So any examples? I see Nagawang, Nguang, Guang. in Australia from Tibet. That's fantastic. I would love to go to Tibet. The course entails reading, writing, listening, and speaking activities. Yes, perfect. Exactly. Really nice sentence. So then let's move on to productive or productivity. Now, I'm sure you've heard this word used because it's used a lot in marketing, in selling products, in trying to get you to do things you don't want to do. So the adjective productive describes how you are or how someone or something is. So does it produce a lot of output? Produces, it comes from the word produces, a lot of output. So if I describe myself as being productive, it means I'm doing a lot today. Actually, today is Saturday. I'm not doing that much. I only have this live lesson planned for today. But let me know what you are doing this weekend in the comments. Productive on the weekend, you might say. This weekend, I don't have any plans because I want to clean my house and be productive. So I don't know what I'm planning today, but I know I want to do a lot. Maybe clean my house, cook some food, walk my dogs, whatever it is. You want to do a lot of things. Or you might say, I am very productive at work. I create a lot at work. Let me see if we've got any examples. The productivity is absolutely excellent this month. Perfect. So I'm going to go on to that one. Productivity, the noun. The productivity is, I'm going to change it a little, is absolutely exceptional this month. But you might say the productivity of employees or the productivity of the students. But you could also just say the productivity, meaning the amount of work produced, the amount of things achieved in that month, in that week. So yeah, really nice example. There is a feeling, I think, amongst this generation, my generation, that we always have to be productive. Resting and watching Netflix or scrolling on your phone is considered not good for you. And you always have to be busy, always have to be doing something. But of course, rest time, downtime, relaxation is good for you. But there is this idea that we always have to be productive. Our productivity always has to be higher than the people around us. Monitor. So we've got two more words. Monitor, monitor. This is another way of saying to look after, be responsible for, or check on. So if there is anybody watching that has a team that works for them, or maybe works with younger people, they work with students, or they work with children, you may have to monitor those people, to look after, to be responsible for them. One of my daily responsibilities is to monitor my students, and it's just started raining, so I'm hoping I can finish this lesson, but if the connection starts to be too bad, I will end it and I will continue it this evening. So I've got somebody here telling me if the connection cuts out. So yes, but you could also talk about monitoring something. So I need you to be monitoring sales at all times. Oops, sorry. I need to write, I need you. I need you to be monitoring sales at all times, meaning I need you to look after, check on, be responsible for our sales at all times. These days, I'm monitoring my English knowledge by doing some activities. Really nice. Exactly. Perfect. Your examples are really good. Let me like that one. Can I like it? Oh. If you'd like to show it again, use the document. Okay. Okay. So our next example. Convert. Convert. So this means to change, modify something in some way. Typically, we use this to talk about buildings, but you may see it in other ways. For example, if you are an engineer, you might often talk about converting or conversion. If you work in marketing, you will talk about conversion of traffic. What? Why can't I spell today? Into sales. If you work in tech, you might talk about the file has been converted. Again, meaning you've changed something from one form into another form. So I'm going to give you a moment to write some examples. I need to convert my file for more productivity. Exactly. If you had a really large file and it was starting to overload your computer, you could convert it to a smaller file so that your computer works faster. Exactly. Good morning, Lotfi. I hope you're okay. Good morning. You can go back and watch the entire video, but please feel free to join in. What about the buildings? I gave you the example of buildings. So we often talk about a converted building. This could be a converted church, a converted school, a converted shopping center. Look, I'm putting too much pressure on myself and now I can't even write in my own language. So anytime you see this converted something, it means it has changed in some way. And in England, actually, you see this a lot, a converted. Actually, near my home, there's a fantastic example of this. There is a church that for some reason is no longer being used as a church, but the law in England says if a building used to be an open space for the public, it has to still be an open space for the public. So you cannot, for example, turn a church into a house or a church into a block of flats. It has to be somewhere that's open for the public. So a church in my area was turned into a sports hall. And sometimes my family and I, we go and play badminton in this sports hall. Our house has been converted into a cafe. Perfect, exactly. Or if you were in the process of doing that, you might say, we are converting our house into a cafe. Exactly. So that is all my vocabulary for you. But I have a fantastic phrase, nitty-gritty, the nitty-gritty. Now, this is a very strange saying, and I'm not really sure the origin of it, The only thing I can think is grit. This word here is what we call in England, when we make concrete, when we make roads, we add these small stones to it. And we call this grit. So, as you can see, it means finer detail. And it could be related to the fact it's those smaller stones, those finer, smaller details. How can you use this in a sentence? Well, you might say, I just started a new job. It is a bit boring at the moment as I am just training. However, I am excited for next week to really get into the nitty-gritty, to really get into the finer detail, to really learn how the job works. It's a very strange phrase, honestly, but you will hear people using it. You might also hear, let's say you have some gossip for your friends, and they say, don't leave out the nitty-gritty. Don't leave out the finer detail. Tell me everything. This might be quite a difficult one for you to create an example for, because it's very particular to native English speakers. But if you want to create an example for it, please go ahead and do so. And we will move on to our phrasal verbs. So for anyone that's just joined, I will be sharing this document via email, so you can go through and see my examples. I am nitty-gritty for the new city from the village. It rhymes. It rhymes. So we would be more likely to say, I am interested in the nitty-gritty for the new city from the village. So I'm interested in the finer detail. It's a literal translation for finer detail. So use it the same way you would, I'm interested in the detail. I want to know the detail. Don't leave out any details. We'll move on to our phrasal verbs. So my first one for you is look around. To visit somewhere with no plan. So to travel somewhere. And I want you to come up with an example for this. I'm not going to give you the example. I want to see if you can come up with one first. So how would you say, I'm going somewhere new, and how would you add look around into that sentence? I'll give you a few seconds to create something. And if no one's got any ideas, I will give you the example, of course. Any ideas? Okay, I'll help you out. So, I'm going on holiday to, let's say Tibet, because I know there's someone from Tibet watching. I'm going on holiday to Tibet. Fantastic. Fantastic. What are your plans in Tibet? I just want to look around. So what we mean is, I don't have a plan. I just want to visit. I just want to see things. I just want to see something new, try something new, visit a new place. You might also say, I'm going to my new job, the new office, to have a look around. Let me write that example for you. I am going to my new office to have a look around. So again, it just means get used to it, learn something new, understand the place. You don't have any plans. You're not going there for a particular reason. You just want to see what it's like. And Daya has given me an example. I was looking around the park yesterday evening. Nice. So you weren't doing anything in particular, just looking around. And Alpa has said, I'll look around the interesting museums. Exactly. I'll look around the interesting museums. I'm not going there for a particular reason. I just want to walk around and see some new things. Put aside, put aside. Let's move that onto the next page so we're not working across 2 pages. So put aside means to not prioritize, sorry, I said that wrong, to not prioritize at the moment. These can be objects or plans or ideas. So with objects, you might say, you've been out buying food and you ask your mum, your partner, your sister, your children, where should I put the fruit I bought? Just put it aside for a moment. Meaning, I don't have an idea where I'm putting it now. It's not a priority. Maybe I'm busy doing something else. Just put it to one side, aside, and I will sort it out for you later. So with plans and ideas, it's exactly the same. It's not a priority right now. So let's see if you've got any examples for to put aside, but with a plan or idea. I put aside doing my exam because of my mother's illness. Yes, exactly. It wasn't a priority for you at that moment in time. Exactly. Or you could say, I have a lot of work at the moment, but I am putting most of it aside because something. Because I'm too busy, because I'm sick, I'm ill, someone I know is ill, exactly. So you can add in here, you can add emphasizes or qualitative data, but I am putting some of it aside, most of it aside, all of it aside, a bit of it aside, because. So you can put the frequency or the amount of it in there. Be up for something, and a free one here, be up to something. So these have very different meanings. I will put the matter aside for a while. Perfect. Perfect example. I put aside my marriage because I didn't save enough money. Nice. Both excellent examples. So to be up for something, actually, I'm going to let you guess. What's the difference between be up for and to be up to something? Can anyone tell me what the difference between these 2 phrases is? I'll give you a clue. It's in your feeling towards it or somebody else's feeling towards it. Okay, let me help you out. So to be up for something, be up for is to want to do it or feel like you want to do it. So yes, I am up for playing tennis later. I am up for playing tennis later. I am up for eating pizza with you. And alternatively, if you are not up for, you don't want to, I am not up for tennis this evening. I'm not up for tennis this evening. I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. Or I am up for eating out today, but not up for drinks, for example. Okay, so then up to something. Let's see if I've got any comments that I've missed. Ah, it's raining. Well, I hope you have the best of the rest of your day, and I will see you later. One means to be interested in something, exactly. So that's the one I've just gone through. But the other one, up to something, is potentially you're doing something bad. You are doing something you shouldn't. / something bad. Or just something that is suspicious. Okay, so he is up to something. I can feel it. He's up to something suspicious. I don't know what, but I can feel it. Something's happening. Or my manager has been avoiding me. I think they are up to something. They are doing something suspicious. I don't know what it is, but they are doing something. So I am up for is interested in or wanting to do. And up to is something's happening and you're not quite sure what it is. Bounce back. Bounce back. Now, this is a fantastic one to use because bounce back means to recover from something. If you've ever had a difficult period in your life, something bad has happened to you or someone you love, and you feel, I don't know how I will continue. It's going to be difficult to continue. You might say, I'm hoping to bounce back from this. I am hoping to bounce back from this. Or, don't worry, you will bounce back. You don't always have to say bounce back from. You can just say bounce back by itself. It just means to recover. Think of a ball, tennis ball, football. When you drop it on the ground, it will bounce back to its original position. So it's saying you will recover and be back to your original self. Has anyone got any examples for me of a time that you have bounced back? Something difficult has happened, but you bounced back. I'll give you one of mine, if I can think of one. No, if I can choose one. I was told by a teacher when I was younger that I would not get into a good school in my area, and it really upset me. I thought, well, there's no point trying if my teacher doesn't think I can do it. But I studied every day and I got into the school that the teacher told me I would never get into. So I bounced back. Okay, let's move on to our last phrasal verb and then we will end this lesson. So crop up, for something to crop up. It just cropped up. Or I was talking to Catherine and your anniversary cropped up. Something cropped up in my lesson with a student. So from these examples, what do you think it might mean to crop up or cropped up past tense? What could it mean? She bounced back from her anxiety. Yes, exactly. Well done. What could it mean to crop up? I think I missed someone's comment here, so let me just have a quick look. I see. You said leaders instead of learners. No problem. So to crop up means it came up without a plan, without intention. You didn't mean to talk about it. You didn't plan to talk about it. Do not plan to talk about something. So maybe somebody's keeping a secret and they didn't want to tell anyone, but it cropped up in conversation. It just happened. You happened to mention it in conversation. It's not used often, in all honesty, but for example, at work, if you mention something to a client that you weren't supposed to, you might say, it just cropped up in conversation. Or you're talking to a competitor and you say something you're not supposed to, or they say something they're not supposed to. You could say, it just cropped up in conversation. It just happened. We didn't plan to talk about it. So I have one final thing for you today, but before I go into that, and I promise this will be quick, if you do want access to this Google document, make sure to fill out the contact link in my description box. Anyone that's watching this in the future, you can also have access to this document, no problem. Just again, fill out the contact in my description box. Feel free, if you're in the future, to comment as well and give me your examples and I will correct them. Let's move on to the final thing I want to leave you with today. I'm going to make it bigger. Let's make it bigger because it's important. So this is a quote by E.M. Forster. Either life entails courage or it ceases to be life. Either life entails courage or it ceases to be life. Now, the reason I've left you with this quote is because I want you to not just understand English, but try and interpret English. What does this mean? What could it mean? And do you agree with it or do you disagree with it? Do you think it is something to live by or not? Let me know in the comments what you think it could mean and if you agree or disagree. I'm very interested to hear your interpretation of this quote. I don't just want to give you new vocabulary and phrasal verbs, I also want to check your comprehension and understanding of the English language. But other than that, that is all from me today. I really hope you enjoyed this live lesson. I will be doing more of these in the future. Hope to do some more. I think it's helpful to have instant feedback on your comments and your examples. So if you liked this video, if I helped you in some way, please be sure to share this with your friends, post it on your social media, send it to your family chat, whatever you want to do to show your support to me, I would appreciate, and it helps me massively. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you next time, which will be very soon. I have a video that I'm uploading, hopefully today. So thank you everyone that gave me examples, and I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Have a good day. Bye.